the arts help to define a space, in a sense to make it a place.
In the prairie, we're used to listening and paying attention, and it's shaped by having to do that in this particular environment.
I think this part of the state has a gentle beauty to it. You look at it and find a subtleness to it of the color and the light.
If you calm down and just relax, out of the corner of your eye, you start seeing these colors, these textures. And you could drive by a freshly plowed field in the springtime and the dirt is blue.
Once you get used to the landscape, it's really quite amazing. You know, there's a whole bunch of sky that you don't see everywhere else.
This is not a dull environment.
There's lots of shadows. There's that changing look that the seasons bring, and the changing light in the morning and the changing light at the end of the day.
Even small things on the horizon loom large. I think it gives us an ability here in Kansas to focus on the choices we make.
Being in this openness, a place just so influences how you are and how you see things.
Salina is a friendly place. It's a nice place to raise a family. It's a place where you can feel comfortable.
Well, Salina is a little oasis in the prairie.
I think it's a pretty town, pretty good location in the central part of the state.
Salina is a welcoming, open, artistic community.
You like to get involved in things that happen in the community because it makes a difference.
My dad was raised on Spain. So.
This town is deceptively cosmopolitan for a place that is in the center of the United States and in a somewhat remote area.
It's a really nice, quiet town.
It's amazing all of the opportunities that you have. It's a big city in a little town.
You don't really expect anything artistic to come out of a small town like this, but really it's one of the most art-oriented towns I've been around.
Kind of an ideal place. Utopia, I call it.
Well, I love the River Festival. Community theater is awesome. Even walking downtown or even going down Santa Fe, it's just a little utopia.
Salina is the home to many of the world's largest. We have Exide Battery, Tony's Pizza, Philips Lighting, fluorescent lighting. So very strong manufacturing, but diverse.
Even the agriculture base and the medical community and the professional community, they all come together to support the arts.
When I first moved this community and stepped into that space, it was the first time I had ever gone beyond looking. It was the first time I had really been provoked to think in a new way, and I loved it.
It keeps me in touch with what's happening in the contemporary art scene.
The classes that the Art Center has offered over the years and the discussions have taught me a lot.
What an awesome way to meet people that you ordinarily wouldn't meet.
I just can take so much of the news on TV, you know, there's just so much. So it's so great to have a place like the Art Center where you can come and you can experience ideas.
The Art Center has made it possible to try a lot of new and different things.
I think the Art Center has become a community center in many ways. It's a place where people from all walks of life come to discuss big issues in their lives.
The exhibit recently that dealt with memory, what it means to lose your memory, what it means to struggle with memory loss, with dementia, with Alzheimer's. It just helps you see that in a much more colorful, much more vibrant way.
One of the exhibits was a long card catalog file, and in that card catalog was all the person's memories. And it was, you know, it kind of gave me chills when we were in there. And I know that it affected the kids in there because it was exactly what we had talked about, and there was a real strong connection there.
The Art Center has been able to do a lot of cutting-edge programming that's done in such a respectful way.
We had quite a large exhibit that had been banned in China and were not shown anywhere else in the United States.
I also loved the brothers from San Diego that did the wonderful Aztec references.
When Patrick Doherty was here and put together all the little twigs and stuff, it not only was in the Art Center, it was on locations in different places, in the parks and at people's houses.
The one piece that really surprised me to be called art was a car windshield that had been smashed with a hammer.
But I remember we had a man that was living in a plexiglass cube. That was fascinating to children.
What was he doing? What was he trying to accomplish? Even people who didn't think it was art, it was interesting, they'd still come by and tap on the window, and which it was sort of the whole point of what was going on there.
The cinema has been a fabulous addition.
The thing about the Art Center cinema is the foreign films. I'm a visual learner, and I love to learn about foreign cultures through film.
I have my special seat. Nobody better be sitting there, so I try to get there a little early.
People come here expecting something different, not expecting a mainstream film. They're expecting to be challenged a little.
And it has a marvelous sound system.
And my friends who live in bigger metropolitan areas are shocked when I say I've seen that.
Not only have we had some wonderful opportunities to bring filmmakers here who can talk to people about their films, but also just to lead discussions about film.
These seats are so comfortable.
It's a unique way of angling into people's experiences that's different from just art.
There are a lot of sharp people in Salina. I go and I sit there at those discussions and wow, I never thought of that. Yeah, that makes sense. And that enriches me.
When kids make art, it brings together many different forms of understanding and many different ways of expressing themselves.
A child who doesn't get excited through a social studies book, you take him to the Art Center and he sees an exhibit and it makes his heart leap.
The art sometimes is that missing thing in the curriculum for kids.
Some of the kids who don't do well in other things can really excel at the artistic things.
I think they love the creativity. Everything's different. They have a chance to just draw, paint, do whatever they want.
Little boys, a lot of times, they think art is not good. And just by presenting this to kids, especially in grade school level, it tells little boys art's okay.
We all made little cardboard things like this, and we all put them together and made a big city and stuff.
The kids at the Art Center, they're just so honest. And I think when they're having these art classes at such a young age, they do what they feel, not what they think they should do.
It's a great place to go and have fun and do different things and explore around.
The younger kids just really showed me their creativity.
This is a great place. This is a good place to be.
We had a kindergarten through 12th grade art exhibit there.
Contemporary art. Students have to think about what that can mean, and the beauty of that is that there's no right or wrong answer.
Because you can use creativity and imagination.
Art is something that's not just there as a luxury or something to explore if you have the time, but something that can be a problem-solving discipline, something that can give you new ideas about other parts of your life.
It's about the lives we live now. It's courageous art that doesn't flinch away from asking hard questions.
Contemporary art, I think, makes you leave and think about it for a while. Sometimes you get it, and sometimes you don't.
Not just something you saw once and passed by, but it keeps living on in conversations.
It challenges the provincialism, the limitations of those of us who are so trapped by the culture that we can't step out and see it for what it really is.
I think art is there to kind of encourage us to, stay alive, stay awake, pay attention to what's around.
The values of the arts, of course, is that they have a way of increasing our imagination about possibilities. And that's all that's ever held civilization together.
Art expresses in a way that nothing else can what we are, what our dreams are, what our pains are.
There's so much to learn about ourselves, about what our lives mean. Sometimes it's celebration, sometimes it's inquisition. We must continue to make art to keep our spirit alive.
We say in Scripture that not on bread alone does a person live, and we need the arts, we need literature, we need things to raise our spirits. And people here know that,